Yeah, I'll start it now. I mean, once again, you can just chop out the bit. Oh,
butcher the introduction.
No, I was going to ask you though. I went and used your bathroom in there, and there's like beard everywhere. like I was going to ask. I was going to ask. Like, is there? Like, is your entire life like that? Like, there's just sort of beard everywhere? Like, is there any portion of your life that's like an oasis in this sea of beard?
That's probably because I was grooming.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I usually clean that up.
Manscaping.
Really? Yeah, it was manscaping. Indeed.
There's 3 pounds of hair in there, and it's all from your chest.
I'll have to look now. I didn't. Was it in the sink at least? At the very least?
Well, there's a sink and like on the side of the toilet. And
oh wow! I don't know.
Yeah, I mean it's beard. Oh well, I would assume.
We will allow you to assume.
Anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah. So all right, let's roll into episode 7 here of Westworld. But no, welcome to another podcast of Two Lazy Guys, discussing Westworld episode 7.
Yeah.
I, of course, am always joined by the other half of Two Lazy Guys, which is Dave Baker.
Yeah.
I myself am Jared Hawkins. And we have our surprise guest returning.
Surprise!
It's great to be back.
Mr. Josh Smith has returned.
Months later.
And holy crap, you couldn't have picked a better episode to return on. Because, geez. Where do we start? Do we start from the end and talk our way back? Or what do you guys want to do?
No. You could start something like at the beginning and then maybe a little at the end and some of the middle.
Okay.
I got some other stuff at the beginning. Like 2/3 of the way through and then the end and then back to the middle. Probably in the middle is where I'll end it.
Alright, so is the book Alice Through the Looking Glass that Bernard's reading to his son? His son. Air quotes. Yeah, spoiler alert.
So somewhere towards the end, I guess. A little at the beginning, but also hints at the end.
Well.
Anyway.
It's one of the 2 books.
Yeah, it's clearly
some
Lewis
Carroll
right?
writing.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because what was it? What was the reference that was read? World so screwed
up. Yeah, my world. He said something to the effect. I don't remember it verbatim, but something to the effect that my world wouldn't be what it is because it would be what it isn't, and nothing would be as it seems because it is what it isn't.
Yeah, that. Good gosh.
I like that.
Yeah. So.
Perception of reality.
However, I mean, good gosh. I honestly don't know what direction to take this one.
I know.
Because for me, no. I honestly was not looking for what took place in this episode.
Well, I mean, you could lead up with the fact that at least right at the kickoff, Elsie's gone.
But not dead.
The system... Yeah, sure. The system... The system is reported that it's already in there, that she's on leave. So while she disappeared, she's also immediately placed on leave in the system.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah,
because...
somebody's already covering up the tracks.
I don't know, corporate stormtrooper JR-97Q3 comes down to tell...
Who is actually James Bond.
Bernard. Yeah, James Bernard that... what else? He's on leave.
Right. Yeah, man, I hope she's not dead. I really
he still
like
checks.
her.
Yeah, he's got to check it. Well, I mean, at this point, though.
He's thorough.
Yeah, with all the stuff Bernard's seen. Poor Bernard.
All right.
Jeez,
poor Bernard.
Man, yeah. I don't know. You got anything right out of the beginning?
No, it was just a little on the nose thing. Speaking of the reading, it could have been a little more subtle, like why you had to go right there, in your face with
Lewis Carroll, yes,
versus just
like bad dog, rub your nose in it,
right. But it was interesting. Like you said earlier, it's very vivid. In what he saw.
Oh yeah, like if they are like the hosts as robots and their
Right.
memories, if they recall them literally verbatim as they'd happened, and not with like the clouded memory that humans are afflicted with, they would literally be reliving
Right.
every memory as it happened, which could
Like they're not watching it, or part of their.
Yeah.
Everything is
to
there.
them they're in it.
Right.
I believe in discussing this topic, you typically have it, human nature is given to embellishment.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Oh,
yeah,
man,
things
it is
aren't
so
exactly
much so.
the way we remember them.
Never are. You paint yourself in the best possible light. It's proven
Yeah.
in your own memories.
I mean, even if you know you're an idiot, you're not going to remember yourself as an idiot.
Oh man,
Which
there
why he didn't
was.
seem overly emotional in it.
Mhm.
For something to haunt him, he was not emotional when the kid died.
Yeah, a bit. I mean, he sort of kind of flipped out and was drug away, but he was like, no, but not like.
Tearing up.
Yeah, he was more, maybe seemed more in disbelief than extreme sorrow and loss. Maybe.
Yes.
I don't know.
Or just immediate to acceptance. Went through all those stages and went to acceptance. Pretty quick.
If his processor was going fast enough.
Yeah. I think to keep my processor in check, I'm probably just going to have to go down my list here. Because,
You know,
my gosh.
in regard, like there was actually an old video game back in the day before all of like game engines were really built the way that they are now. There was an early version of a game. I can't remember the name of it now. I'm sure somebody else on the whole World Wide Web will know what I'm talking about. But it was the speed of the game was actually it was it was dictated by the cycles in the CPU, like the frequency of the CPU that it came out on, like a 486. So if you ran it like on a Pentium 100 megahertz, the game was almost impossible to play because it screamed along at such a rate you couldn't react fast enough. And maybe that like that's what happened tomorrow. Like if somebody had messed with him and turned up his intelligence, he would be able to just rip through entire processing emotional situations in a second. You know what I mean? Just, if his perception or intelligence, brute, whatever, had been turned up to 20, he could process things like that at light speed.
So he needed to remember it as motivation and as drive to keep him there, to keep him working and focused.
Okay.
But had to keep him going through the point that it wouldn't disrupt. Is that what you're trying to say? Maybe?
Yeah, maybe, yeah, I suppose so, in a way, yeah. Like, that's his
Loop.
He's more
rosebud.
effective.
It's like his rosebud. It's like,
Are we more effective driven by tragedy?
Yeah, I mean,
Because no one has happy thoughts in this.
No, it's like
Everyone
it
has
is
a sad
Shakespearean. Man, back to the Shakespeare. It's like a
Tragic.
Shakespearean tragedy.
Yeah, there's no one has happy memories of anything.
No, nobody's. Yeah, there's no. You mentioned nobody in the entire series at any point has there been a single line of dialogue that was like, "You remember that amazing time where we all."
Even Clementine, like, oh, my family owns a farm and they live there. Yeah, but it's in the middle of the desert.
And it sucks.
I think I'm dressmaker. Yeah.
I'm down here earning a paycheck on my back, sending money to them. Yeah, it's true. It is very, very much a tragedy.
Yeah, because that is one of the notes that I have here. So much pity on hearing Clem's backstory on what's her face?
Maeve?
Maeve, yes.
Man,
Yeah, just the emotion she displays. Because, and that's the part when she's noticing the piano's out of tune and just noticing everybody's going about their daily activities, but she's on a different plane of existence now.
She is, but was that more of her programming? Because when something happens wrong or out of step, they improvise to get back into the storyline to guide. So she noticed this is wrong.
Compulsion.
Right, this is wrong. I must stop it, so everything else can continue and it doesn't disrupt.
Yeah, but she's so far out of the game now because she doesn't pause like everybody else when the what are we calling those guys? Are they butchers?
Effectively.
In the suits?
Yeah, I mean, for
she doesn't pause, and she even grabs up a weapon to protect herself. So I think she's operating on a different plane.
Well, she's discombobulated. I think, because, like you're saying, she does shut down the piano to sort of keep in her loop, because she then goes back to the bar, repeats her standard line,
right?
Realizes she's repeating her standard line.
Right.
She's getting back into that realization that everything is still programmed for her.
Yeah.
And what was awesome about that scene? Clementine starts, and got to give a nod to the directing on this and the actresses, because Clementine, when she's asked about what do you remember about your dreams, starts interacting with Maeve as though she were a guest. Did you pick up on that?
No, I didn't.
Yeah, because the way she's talking to her, they get a little more retrospective when they start thinking about something that they typically wouldn't think about.
Mm-hmm.
And that's because they're dealing with a guest that's on a different type of level. It was almost like she was interacting with Maeve the guest, which I thought was cool.
But again, Maeve always had those very distinct lines.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Well, but not about the dreams.
Right, and dreams were never in those lines, because that was
right.
never part of any repertoire these two would have.
Yeah, and so since that wasn't like a scripted thing, I noticed the variation in the way the characters interacted. I thought it was really cool.
Yeah.
And actually going back to that, when we had the bandito, I can't remember his name.
Alonzo?
Lawrence?
No, that was Lawrence's name.
Lawrence. Okay.
The other guy that broke out of jail with the Man in Black.
Hector.
Yeah.
Hector had a new role this episode.
Mm-hmm.
He's Fred Garvin.
Sexbot.
Male prostitute. Maybe you don't remember Fred Garvin.
No.
You know Fred Garvin?
I don't know Fred Garvin.
It's an old Dan Aykroyd.
Sure what you watch.
Old Dan Aykroyd SNL skit. Fred Garvin. Male prostitute. All right.
But yeah, no. What was awesome is he's sitting there, and Bernard was working with him, right?
Yes.
Yeah, and we all caught the cars crossed out. It's like, huh?
Yep. He said the word cars, but he could not process it.
Right.
Right, but he had already asked for that replay.
Yeah.
So it was the outside of the character of that.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And he was just repeating what was said by the guest.
Right.
What'd you have? Or did I break your train of thought?
No, you did. It was completely off topic there of... All right, yeah, no format.
No.
No, you can go ahead.
So when Hector was there patiently waiting in the bed,
Uh-huh.
when the other lady came in the room...
I don't know if he was patient. He was paused, but yeah.
He moved around a little.
He's just ready for round two.
Because, he was like, hey,
very
get your friend in here.
Was he watching that interaction with the member of the board?
Mm.
So when Bernard was sitting there talking, really this was Hector was spying on them. Mm-hmm. And he was downloading that for Ford.
Yeah, he may have. That maybe was how Ford knew.
I completely forgot that guy was in the...
Yeah, I totally forgot about... I didn't make that connection either.
Oh, yeah, good move.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
because you kept seeing him in the background just sort of sitting there.
Yeah, he was. He was in the back of every frame pretty much.
Yeah, that would explain how Ford's collecting all his intel. He just has a bunch of hobots? Is that what we should call them?
Yeah. He's got... And they're all tied to iCloud.
Yeah.
So he's got everything.
Okay.
That's cool.
Yeah. The one note I had in discussing that part too, well, no, that was for my own personal notes. Never mind. But I'll read it anyways. Answer the door naked for a meeting. Power play. That I just wrote down for my future situational awareness.
You're going to integrate that in your business practices?
I swear I've done it before, but I guess it wasn't for business. I don't remember.
It is now.
Yeah,
it's in my repertoire.
Don't knock on that guy's office door.
No. Just
be warned.
Everything is going to be phone conference.
From here on out.
Be like, hey,
be glad this is a podcast.
Can you send in Dave? For some reason he's refusing, sir. So just call him at his desk.
Yeah, nice. Let's see. Well, okay, and I guess this is in keeping with the theme. My next note is Teresa is in bed with the corporation. So yeah, that was kind of a big deal to learn that
Oh, the board, yeah.
the one pulling the strings was the gal that's visiting. What was she, VP or something? Were we introduced?
Yeah. Teresa said what it was,
It was
but
actually
I don't
last-
remember, and I didn't write it down.
That was the last episode.
Like, my
wasn't it?
pen was super heavy at that point, I think. I tried, it was like, oh, forget it.
You too lazy to write something? I don't. Okay, let's see.
Yeah.
Could be worse.
Yeah, I could have and, singular.
Yeah.
Not even plural note. Just note.
Yeah. I think that got us out of that part. That's
Well,
good.
Like early on too, you see that Lawrence is telling William, "Hey, you may have an appetite for this,"
Oh yeah.
which is, I guess meaning the killings and the stabbings and the shootings and the.
Yes. So I actually skipped that because I said foreshadowing.
Again,
William
he doesn't
Man in Black
he
on
doesn't match
Train.
the hat.
Not
he doesn't.
yet.
Here in a little bit, you'll see that he's got on brown shoes and a black belt, and you'll be like, oh, this dude's.
Yeah.
His coordinations.
Then it's just going to start changing
All this
all together. Then he just gives up, starts wearing all black.
Mm-hmm.
No, will be an interesting journey. So I hope they delve into that one.
Yeah. The was it the corporate lady?
Mm-hmm.
The
I just want to refer to her
The
as
naked-
power play now.
the power player. The power player.
Miss Hill.
Yes, Lauren Hill.
All right. Yeah.
Naked lady.
Okay.
Okay,
Yeah.
got it.
Reveals that Delos is conducting a research project, which feeds
into your theory.
The board itself, or the corporation itself, the company, to them, and meaning the board and everybody else, that Westworld is a research project that is basically being funded by the guests.
More interested in the data.
Yeah, because they want the raw data, which is
This
the hosts have collected. Part of me is like, is it like this weird human, experiment like AI? What can we do to preserve, humanity like in an artificial form? Or is it just like they're spying on all the guests, so like they know what to send them in terms of like
Information for
marketing?
advertising.
Yeah, like marketing.
Yeah.
Targeted ads.
Didn't she say it was like 30?
Of course, if that's the case,
30 or
man,
35
everybody that
years.
visits Westworld is going to get nothing but like gun ads, prophylactics.
Porn ads.
Yeah, porn ads.
Local brothel ads. Yeah.
Yep.
Gold paint. Gold body paint.
Yep.
Yeah.
And mazes.
Yeah. All kinds of.
Mazes.
Puzzles and mazes.
Questioning their reality. Okay, so along those lines, my next note, total immersion into the game, saying the world is less real than Westworld. That was William to Dolores when they leave the dining car and go into the, what shall we call it, the humping car?
I don't know.
It's a
Yeah, the
cargo
humpage.
box car, but sure.
Yeah, the cargo
The
box
humpage.
car.
Yeah, the humpage. I don't know what you call it.
The let's get it on car. Because,
The closet car.
I mean, he takes the time to explain to her, hey, look, man, he tries to do the good guy thing and explain, I have a life outside of this place. I'm getting ready to get hitched.
I know, but
You know.
little William's in control.
There ain't no
And I
ring on
can't-
it yet.
Yep.
And, I mean,
least he
she
tried.
takes off running. Yeah, he fought it as best he could. Kudos.
Well, he said the words,
Right.
Yeah.
Anyway. Even though the action of immediately
Just a game.
running after her.
I can't do this. I can't. Zip. Like, well.
But no, the total immersion thing was, man, he just bought the whole place lock, stock, and barrel. He's in because he feels like he's more of himself, and I mean he even says that like it doesn't just show you your true nature; it shows you. What does he say? Who you are? That seems like it.
So
True self.
Right. So it's sort of like what his future brother-in-law was telling him the first day they showed up.
Basically, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
In
So now
episode
we're
2.
finding out that he's even worse than the brother-in-law,
Yeah, he
I
made
and he's
no,
slowly
he's-
starting to accept himself.
Mhm.
That or
Yeah.
how lame is his life outside of there?
It might be bad. It might be like
Pretty
it might
bad.
be like Al Bundy.
He's a shoe salesman?
Could be a shoe salesman.
Dang.
Peggy back home was
Kids.
picking his wallet.
Dang.
Women's shoes too.
And a dog that talks in its head. See how easy it is for us to get off topic.
Yes.
Classics.
You're off topic.
No, I know.
You're drawing the parallel.
Yeah, this is.
Yeah, right. Let's see.
You want to start talking about how much, like the perception of reality within Married with Children. Then we can spiral off down
Oh, crap.
that rabbit hole.
Oh, crap. And you just
But
dug
anyway.
it. Way to go.
But anyway.
Way to go. What's your next note?
That your Lewis Carroll reference at the beginning there?
Yeah.
Rabbit hole.
No, right back to the beginning. No, we're still on it. We're still on topic.
Yeah, we never. What are you talking
Never
about?
We're
left.
always
Yeah.
okay. Then that's our shtick. We're always on topic. You guys just out there in the
You're lost.
World Wide Webs need to keep up.
Never realized that the whole thing is the intro.
Just drop the mic and walk away now.
I put where you're talking about with Maeve and Clementine, that Maeve's breaking story like right out of the gate now though. Like after they reboot, they're like, cool reboot, and about 3 sentences in, Maeve is off the rails.
Woke up, went to work.
But
Right.
she's also trying Inception on Clementine, like, hey, whenever you've gone to sleep, have you ever had dreams that you're someone else? And it wasn't like a question like, are you like me like this? It felt more like she's poking her into her line of thought, like
Right.
pushing her, not as a line of questioning, but as an Inception thing.
And that's the moment she should have given her the dreidel. Spin this. No, go ahead.
I'm trying to find out if they're all the same. Because you realize
she's
there are
poking.
two different types of people.
Yeah.
The we thought they were gods, really monsters people, and her.
Who's like me?
Right, so she doesn't know who is like her, who
She's
is
got to
not
poke
like
to
her.
find out the perception level of
Right.
those around her. Yeah.
Because in either world or reality she's in, she sees both. And she hasn't come to the realization that there's old models, her, and new models, and
honestly, you do
even
that.
those things change.
You do that when you enter a new workspace and you're not quite sure where you're going to fit yet. Not talking about clicks or anything, but it's like, so... And not being judgmental toward others necessarily, but you want to understand what level of intellect you're dealing with.
Yeah, like, oh, okay. She's like trying to figure out if anybody else is...
Find a commonality or something there.
Right.
Beards. Like,
Beards.
Who else is
Yes.
super into beards?
Yeah.
Shaving
Do-
off
do you-
pounds of hair.
Do you really want to be seen next to the bearded one there?
Yeah.
I'm sure many people in my line of work question that daily. Or whatever. It's who I am.
Imagine I could just see like if you ever had to work anywhere in like food preparation, the size of the
Oh
beard
my
net.
gosh.
Your beard net would be
I was a chef for 5 years. I know because
you just
back
put
in that
pantyhose
time,
over your whole head.
back in
Still
that
has
time, I was rocking an afro,
Uh-huh.
and this thing was whatever. So yeah, I mean, I had to wear the full on. Yeah, I can't call it the full Monty. That'd be the reverse. Completely covered up. Completely.
Oh,
All I had were eye holes, basically.
Oh, okay.
So like the ski
And
mask?
like nose
the
holes
ski
so I could
mask.
breathe. That's about it.
the scratchy ski
Other than
mask.
that, I looked like I was ready. I was prepared for operation.
Oh,
Completely
okay.
covered up.
I've me, like my beard is a little scruffy on the sides, and
That's
I've always
50
wished.
days growth, right?
Yeah, this is like 3 months worth. I haven't
It out
shaved.
right there.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I'd always like my wish if I were to come across a genie, I would be like, I want this ridiculously thick beard that I could grow down, and I want to put like one of those. I believe I'd mentioned this to somebody else before, that I want to be able to grow my beard out to the point where you could put one of those like the big metal rings that like they put around napkins at fancy restaurants, you know?
You want like a face ponytail?
Yeah, like well, but see, I'm gonna grow out like
There's
to
an
the
end
big
game.
face. I want to grow out to like the big face ponytail, but then once it gets down, like almost down to the navel, I can take it and part the beard and then pull it back up around the head, like over the ears,
Face pigtails?
and then you can
We all
put
have
the napkin
aspirations in
holder.
life.
Yeah, you can put a napkin holder on top of the head, so that the beard remains over the years.
So you're preparing for future life of being bald, yet still being able to rock the top knot.
Exactly.
This is a very goal-oriented man that is got the long game.
It's like a
planned
Japanese
out.
troll, is what it is.
Somebody gets it. Finally. See? I knew there was someone else out there.
I've heard people want to do the same thing with nose hairs, but I'm not going to get into it. We might be discussing
Piss.
Styling nose hairs. Okay.
Well,
okay.
so Dolores in the car, either, I think this was
after.
Like with her pants on. This is
that
pre-pants,
hanky, right.
pre-pants off. Not pee-pants off.
Oh.
Pre-pants off.
Yeah,
Post-humping?
Pre-hump.
Yeah.
This
Okay.
is pre-hump. Pre-hump, I believe she was talking about, all the stuff she's talking about really amounts to she is, at this point, very much set on being free.
Mm-hmm.
And whenever they do reach, Dolores and William reach that level of intimacy, that's really, the point where, like you were saying, William is sunk in now, and all of his future endeavors with Dolores, helping her, everything, basically sort of started at that point. Like, we get to see...
So his buy-in begins because he sees that she is operating at a different level.
Yeah, he perceives her as alive at this point, like Pinocchio. Not Pinocchio, she's a real boy. That.
If you're into that
real
sort of
girl.
thing. Yeah.
But, she's...
She's a real boy, okay.
Yeah.
Ruined everything right there. I have a new outlook on this entire show now.
Whoops.
But that's it. That's the moment where he's, gone all in. Gone all in. As the poker players say, right?
Right. So is she really just using him then?
I don't think so at this point. No. At least that's my perception of it. For
Kinda like Maeve's
like
using...
the little bit I've paid attention. It's
suppose to a degree, but as the farmer's daughter, that's kind of her loop, isn't it? To be the get them to love me, take me into the barn.
No, she's supposed to be the
me.
damsel. Is the thing, and that's what she's bought.
Yeah, but she's outside of that loop.
Right,
Yeah.
but
The moment she puts the pants on, takes the dress off, she's out of that
she
loop.
still can resort back to the damsel.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, very much so.
So
Which part are you referring to?
I'm referring to where she became an expert shot,
On the back
riding
of the horse.
backwards on a horse.
That was amazing.
Yet, as soon as she missed the giant limb and fell off,
Mm-hmm. She
went back
like,
into screaming, "Oh no!"
No, okay, yeah. Well, okay, we got to discuss that entire sequence because, come on, from start to finish, that was pretty awesome. Yes, the efforts to armor that train was
Questionable.
at best.
The train had questionable engineering.
Like the armor plating fell off as soon as they started shooting it,
Yeah, the Gatling guns rattling off, and there goes one. Oh shoot!
and the really thin wood walls that
Well, clearly,
save the glass. The glass is expensive. Save it. Don't worry about the wood walls.
Would have been. Yes.
you know how much glass cost back then?
Yeah, right.
I mean, it was
the windows.
lead. It was lead based.
And all the crystal that got shot up in that dining car.
Yeah, but crystal,
Man.
those big sheets of glass. So that's what I like. One of the things I love about my house is that it's like 120 years old, and I have
Lead windows?
Yeah, lead windows, and I have two windows in my house where
Got a house that's this old.
yeah, and there's two windows in my house that whenever I remodeled, I saved them. I saved the panes because whenever they melted the glass down back in those days, at least apparently where my house was built, they didn't like make a big sheet and then cut the glass. They actually just built a wood frame that had like a plywood bottom in it, and then they would pour the liquid glass into the frame, and then that was your window. So I have two windows in my house that actually have knot holes in the glass, like you can see from where they poured them into the wood frames. And I was like, those are really cool, so I kept them. And maybe I'll find a use for them, at some point. But
Some Pinterest.
yeah, so that's what I'm
DIY
saying.
thing.
Like whenever and if I was the guy who built the train, I'd be like, save that glass. That glass has character.
Yes.
You know, I mean, the wood on the side is just plywood. You know, back in those days, some foreign gentleman would have, you know, cut it and nailed it to the box.
But it was still a poor attempt at armoring the car.
Quite poor.
Since they're going to such dangerous territory.
Yeah.
It was kind of cool, though. He just like pulled a little rope and then suddenly all the armor fell down.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, that was cool.
Yeah, it was neat.
And convenient, I
Like,
might add.
completely out of nowhere. Just all hidden in there. And
Yeah. So, okay. And then their failed attempt. I'm calling this a failed attempt, even though it was an awesome way to kick off what transpired, that whole sequence. You're going to send a corpse out on a horse and not successfully make your getaway. I mean,
well, I remember your biggest issue with the corpse rider was that he didn't go out close enough.
Yeah, he should have got closer. Come on, man. Dang horse started eating grass or something? What was that?
just because he's dead, he doesn't have to like still
No, the horse is
contribute to the
alive.
gang. No,
The horse
the
is
rider.
alive. I mean, yeah, but clearly the horse should have been able to get a
Freeloader.
little further out
Come on,
into
man.
there.
It was
you
the
know.
programming.
I suppose so. Yeah.
Well, the horse's programming, it wouldn't go up because they'd blow up people, and that's just too expensive to repair that many.
I know. Host
Well,
too.
there's
I
always
thought.
It was completely
you know,
destroy
like-
the hosts.
Well, the
okay.
whole thing relied on the horse getting out there anyway. Because I mean, what if they sent him out there and the horse just turned and stopped and started eating grass right by the train?
Right.
Then where would Lawrence have been?
That whole thing would have gone to crap.
Yeah. No, go.
It's been awkward.
Been like, hang on a second.
Yeah, no. Well, and I'd written down that I really enjoyed
Pyrotechnics.
the pyrotechnics because I'm not sure what the horse was made out of.
Nitroglycerin.
They'd stuffed it full of those the Samsung Galaxy 8s or something
Sevens,
or 7s.
Yeah.
The 7s because
No Galaxy Note 7s are allowed on this airplane.
the rider went up and the horse was like a secondary, much larger explosion.
Well, I was trying to pay attention to that. So did it have like the little luggage bags hanging off the side?
Oh, like maybe they'd filled the saddlebags. I didn't notice the
maybe
saddlebags.
were
I just
full of-
noticed the guy blew up.
It was his legs.
Oh, like it had pooled.
Yeah, like all the explosions had like slowly pulled down, and even though it was running out of his ears and eyes. No, that was the milk coming out of
Yeah,
his
the
ears
milk.
and eyes.
The milk I think was coming out of the ears and eyes.
Yeah, but anyways, big explosion leads to a chase, which, like you've already mentioned, she's now an expert crack shot, being able to shoot things from a moving, for lack of a better term, vehicle.
If you're going to do a massive, cool explosion like that, are you really going to run away while it explodes? Or are you going to sit there and watch
If you're any kind of awesome, you don't
didn't
even look at it.
No.
So
Guys don't
nah.
turn around and look at the explosion. But
You roll. I mean,
Well, this isn't
defeated the purpose of
Hector's
doing
not
the
awesome.
explosion.
I don't know.
Yeah, Hector's not awesome. He's not. This is like
Wait,
Fast and the
Lawrence?
Furious.
You mean
this
Lawrence?
isn't like Fast and
Well,
the
Hector's-
Furious.
no.
Like he's not.
Lawrence, yes. Lawrence.
Dom. This isn't
Yeah.
Dom from Fast and the Furious. It's not Vin
He
Diesel.
never
This
once
is
looked at a
Lawrence the Bandito.
explosion.
He's.
Yeah, Lawrence hasn't made that many explosions to like not care anymore.
Yeah. He's. This is
Still
clear,
cool.
Like
Think
maybe
so.
a second.
I would
Maybe a
hope so.
second. I mean,
Still fighting yourself.
seriously.
Bullshit. Yeah, cool.
I mean, how many other, even in Westworld, how many times do you think they've had nitroglycerin-filled corpses go on horseback?
Do you
He
remember?
came up with
I
the
wanna
idea, so
see.
I'm sure they've done it a time or two.
Didn't they have to call in to be allowed to do an explosion once?
Yeah, that was
Oh, yeah, the
actually
Man in
episode
Black.
5.
Right. With
He lit a match.
like
Where
lit
was
the
that
match.
scene?
Did they forget to call that one in? Will you allow an exploding horse?
That'll be in the deleted scenes where
Yeah.
somebody goes, "So we have a call
Right.
in for an exploding corpse and a gasoline-filled horse," and he's like, "What?" And then you just get to the explode.
Oh, I can see that one. It's like,
Maybe the comments
Racing
are down
home.
because they
Mom,
need a
Dad.
nap.
I was in this really cool HBO show about cowboys, and it apparently got cut.
What was your line? Yes, blow up the horse filled with
Blow up the horse.
I don't know.
I
Is
approved that horse to
allowed?
explode.
See, if I needed to have directed that scene, because what I would have done then was all that stuff comes in, just like last time. So we have a call for 2 minor explosions. Oh yeah,
Yeah, minor.
You know, that sort of stuff. And then there's, and then you know that same guy's sitting there, and it pops up on his screen. You know, request explosion: gasoline filled horse, comma, nitroglycerin filled corpse, and it's yes, no, and you just look at the guy and they go, yeah, I'm just not even ask, like, yes.
I think it'd
God,
be better.
yes.
I think it'd be
Well, if I can
better that
watch,
it's
yes.
It's a nitroglycerin filled corpse, but instead he accidentally hits the horse first, and then he's like, "Oops!" and immediately he's like, "I meant this one." And he just keeps tapping on the head, which is why the head blew up first.
So that explains it.
Yep, we got it.
Now we got it. Yeah.
Pyrotechnics make sense
You can
in
blame
this
it
world.
on sim control.
Oh man. Okay. So let's see. That all plays out. Oh, and then they get away because of who? How did they ultimately get away?
The Indians attack the Federalists.
Oh, the Ghost Nation.
Ghost Nation. There we go.
Yeah, the Ghost Nation.
So-
Border Patrol?
Were they Confederales or something?
Well, the Confederales, but you were saying, I think, at one point the
Ghost Patrol.
that the Indians were
Yes,
like the
as
Border
you,
Patrol. For
as
the
you
park.
get farther out and everything gets worse, the Indians become the perimeter guard.
The buffer keeping you in the protected.
Right.
They're the
Because-
Jurassic Park.
because they're the ones that understand
There you
the little girl with the doll, the butchers, whatever.
That's why they're allowed to keep.
they
the
keep
butcher
them from
dog.
leaving, presumably others from coming in.
That
So
could work.
they keep that control.
I don't know why they even have that, because if it's all up in outer space, it's not a problem anymore.
Yeah, it's
That's
far
cool.
more contained.
That is. We'll just both agree to
We
be
all-
right.
We all say that until Martians show up. Yeah.
Yeah.
They got to keep out
The
space, whatever.
the Indians are fighting off the aliens.
The Space Cowboys? I think there's a movie Space
Aliens,
Cowboys.
yeah. Oh yeah. Aliens versus Cowboys.
Cowboys
Versus aliens.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's got Bond in it. That one's got Bond in it.
does.
Bond's come
It
up
does.
twice so far.
Yeah.
I don't know why you said
that movie was
Bond.
actually
That
set
one
on
has
the
Han
perimeter
Solo.
of Westworld.
Oh,
It
snap.
was a
Spectre?
prequel.
There you go.
Spectre
Yeah,
was?
yeah. Mm-hmm.
No, Cowboys and Aliens, but yeah.
Oh, okay.
That's happening in a different area, part of the park, like
Oh,
the
okay.
left wing.
This whole thing is just like Universal Studios lot.
Well, Warner Brothers.
All the
we've
movies.
established
It's like
that.
so like this. That's where all of the extras just from all the different movie sets drift around in one area and are hanging
So-
out. And
so
they're like,
that's-
oh fuck it, let's set some
That's what
cameras
the
out
Indians
there.
are for, to keep them other worlds from.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's all the Indians are for. They're just sort of.
yeah, to make sure that
Well,
the extras
trying-
don't drift off onto the wrong set.
And
Yeah.
like I told you guys, yeah, you can see a lot of Warner Brothers. We made mention of this in a past episode. You see a lot of recycled locations. Like most of this is in Utah apparently, but that was a Warner Brothers location. Because I'm telling you, season 4 of the TV series Chuck. Same exact place that they did a horse.
There's
Racing around on
probably
horses and
a time or two the General Lee went tearing through there.
Oh, I bet. I wouldn't doubt
That
it.
looks like a real Dukes of Hazzard location.
Now them Duke boys. Yeah, I can see it.
Yeah, just when they're all riding by, if you look in the background, there's General Lee under some bushes. Under some brushes.
That
limbs where
river
Luke
is
Duke
one that
hit it.
they've jumped over
Jumped
there.
over a few times.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Bo and Luke had to hide the General in there.
No wrecked police car in there somewhere.
Roscoe.
Okay, so let's
Train.
talk about the corporate blood sacrifice.
I thought you were
How
going to
that
talk
all
about others.
played
Going to
out.
talk about craft services here.
Oh, I thought about it, but no.
How do you feel about the craft services in the studio?
Yeah, I mean, you did a great effort making up for that and like keeping it going, but I question like a lot of the preparation for it.
Yeah, the pizza.
Fix the problem pretty quickly, effectively. It was effective. But
Okay.
obviously it was not a pre-planned.
No. Yeah, it was poor. Just piss poor plan, frankly.
Yeah,
Like it was a surprise.
Translucent cheese. That was a new one.
Yeah, the translucent cheese.
But that's all I had left over. Crap.
Sorry, guys. All I have is this week-old bowl of M&Ms and some translucent cheese.
Have you opened up the fridge? All there is like a huge jar of okra pickles. That's it.
Well, I didn't get any of those.
Well, I offered them.
Oh, okay.
That's your own fault for not hearing.
There's
pretzels over there too, but whatever.
Who only has a giant jar of pickles in their fridge?
Psychopaths.
Somebody that's been living in a hotel room since the 22nd.
A host. A robot, maybe an AI.
Maybe.
So really, it's them watching us, and the host watching them.
The TV's the camera.
I don't even see what door you guys are talking about. Oh,
there's a door in here. So anyway, blood sacrifice.
That moment.
Yeah, blood sacrifice.
But from the corporate aspect, so that literally. I mean, come on, you had two hosts playing out a scene, and it was painted on Bernard's face. He's like, "Wow, you couldn't be any more blatant with demonstrating that something bad is going to happen because of the reveries."
Right. And same with Ford too.
Oh yeah.
Because his expression had changed through that, and really giving some stink eye or something.
Yeah, he was giving it the real hairy eyeball.
Yeah, you could just see the plotting the revenge and.
He had a good.
We were
revenge.
just going to have you go and leave like Elsie, but now it's becoming.
There's going to be shallow grave
more
somewhere.
than leave.
It's like,
yes.
and then when the bus tires go rolling over Bernard, and he's just looking at him, and I mean, not even a side glance from Ford.
No,
his eyeball twitched.
Stays locked in on.
Yeah, I mean, he was just
there.
like, he was trying hard not to laugh. I thought a maniacal laugh. Yeah,
Ford.
Because I mean, at this point,
you're all gonna burn.
He's just like, "Are you serious? You're doing this?
This is what you got
in front of me?" Yeah.
This
he was more insulted that.
Yeah.
Inadequate.
Your feeble attempts assault me.
Right. And I still don't understand why choose. You made a comment that she was acting up previously, but why use Clementine?
Oh, because they said was
you wouldn't
that
see it coming.
They said they want somebody who nobody else would expect, which is their meekest prostitute. They chose the meekest prostitute that was there. Mm-hmm. Because, I mean,
Can you get rid of that first guy as you walk off the train?
Yeah.
I hate that guy.
The guy you bump into.
The guy you bump into every time.
The guy who got double tapped in the face by the guy who didn't know which way to hold the gun.
Yeah, he pulls, it's like, I can't get it out of the holster. And he's like looking at it. How does this work? Suddenly double taps him right in the face.
Right in the face. But see, that guy is clearly aggressive. You kind of expect him to do something stupid.
Well, he's seen an action movie at least, because while he may not have been experienced in actually holding the gun, he at least knew the double tap.
Yes.
Shoot twice. You don't want him getting back up.
The first shot scared him. He did another second shot.
All right. Who else is excited?
He's hooked in the game now too.
Oh yeah, no doubt.
He'll start shooting everybody.
You're pretty. You got a knack for this killing thing. What do you got next there, Dave?
Man, I don't know. I mean, how about Clementine in the basement? Whenever they sacrifice those, she's
with the drill.
Yeah, I thought it was like
the nasal flushing.
Yeah, the nasal flushing.
The sinus work.
Man, there are certainly days I woke up and was like, I wish I could have done that.
Okay, you guys really do need to look up this Funny or Die thing. Did you take it? I didn't send you the link, but you got to look it up. Funny or Die. It's I don't think I told you about it either. It's City Slickers meets Westworld.
You did tell me about that.
So Mitchie the Kid, there's a scene in there. Yeah.
Well, she's got.
But no,
she gets unlocked, right? What?
Wait, what?
I don't remember.
Okay, so they unlock Clementine. What?
Yeah, no, go ahead.
Wow.
They unlock her.
Every time I say unlock, you go, oh, and point at your pad. So I say what?
No, go ahead. Unlock what?
Clementine is unlocked. Yeah, she's whenever they're like, we're going to do the demonstration. They essentially unlock her from all of her previous limits and allow her basically unprovoked attacks. He's like, oh, well, here's reveries. And it wasn't like, in the initial part, I was like, oh, she's going to defend herself. So she goes and sits down, like they're going to reset. This dude's going to bash her in the face and she's going to defend herself. No, she walks up and she's like, hey, and just begins putting hands on him and crushing him. I'm like, it's unprovoked. It wasn't like a reverie unlocked something or allowed her to defend herself.
They didn't erase her memory from the previous.
Right, yeah.
So every time they reset the loop, they erase the memory and go back to the their base, whatever.
Yeah, so the initial perception would be that it's an unprovoked
hosts
attack.
can hurt each other.
But
it's the host that can't hurt the guests.
Right.
But hosts can hurt each other, so...
That's what really made it all pathetic.
Weird Chinese dude that... Why is he dressed like a security guy? Why wouldn't he be dressed like...
Well, it was all about the perception that he was a human. He was programmed... They said that they programmed Clementine to read him as a human.
But he wasn't dressed in the fashion that everybody else that she sees is dressed.
Oh, that's true.
He was dressed as the black suit, security guardish.
Yeah, something that she wouldn't be allowed to process.
Not cowboy guy, whatever.
Yeah, okay, I got
She didn't have the hat, boots, stuff like that.
Well, there's just a lot of problems anyway, because while she is allowed to basically enact a grudge against him, it's against something that she should not be allowed to perceive, violating rules that she should not be allowed to violate. Based on memory, she shouldn't be allowed to... I mean, anybody outside, anybody who's in that room with Ford would have to be like, this is clearly staged, you know? I mean, they've done everything possible and violated every safeguard that we've built in to allow this to happen.
Yeah, to me, you just call that whole thing, the way it played out, bad programming, because it's far too blatant.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly.
Which is what it was meant
It came
to be.
across as
Right,
very,
and then she
very...
said, oh, you're just lazy in this now. And
Oh, yeah, throwing them under the bus when... Yeah.
Right.
Wow. Yeah, that was just like... And even their lines between each other felt overly rehearsed, which was...
And the whole time, Ford's looking at him like... you know, just like an eye twitch, and he was looking... He had his head turned down, looking like... I mean, you could just see that... Nope.
No.
Yeah. He was insulted more than anything.
Yeah.
Okay, what I keep pointing to on my pad is about the nose drilling.
Mm-hmm.
Don't have a more elegant way to brick a host?
Mm-hmm. No, because as you've seen with there was the one guy who bashed himself on the head of the rock, so bludgeon doesn't work.
Uh-huh. Yeah, but I mean, think of it like a phone. I can hold a couple buttons to put it into a mode to then brick it.
Uh-huh.
You got to stick a drill up their nose to...
Well, she had said lobotomy, so they were actually performing a lobotomy like they were people.
Mm-hmm. Seems like you could just flip a button.
Yeah, for an organization that seems to keep on emphasizing the fact that they're not humans, they sure do a lot.
Well, how much are they
That's a
like
good point.
robot versus human? Because you see Kid Robert, face opens up, very mechanical. Even though you can see the outline of a skull, it's still very mechanical, versus when you see them now...
Their faces don't do that.
Well, even into the intro there, you see it in the basement floor of the cottage. They're stringing individual tendons and individual fibers into that.
Yeah, muscle fibers and everything.
Right, they're pumping actual blood into them or whatever the red.
Yeah, I was kind of curious about that because it draws flies, so it's got to be like corn syrup or something.
Right, well, the flies are mechanical.
Yeah.
The flies are programmed.
The flies are program hosts to go find dead.
No.
I was kind of curious about that because there's a couple episodes ago, there's the one guy that's tied up to the tree when the sheriff shows up. The poor, dopey Tim Conway sheriff is riding along with the posse. Yeah. And the one guy is tied up to the tree. There's a bunch of dead people, and one of them's tied up to a tree. And he's clearly begun decomposing. Like, he's begun to swell up and get discolored and jaundiced skin. And then it turns out he's still alive. Yeah. But he's got flies swarming on him. I mean, he looks like he's decomposing, as though regular meat would.
It's funny how much we focus on the flies.
The flies are the key to this whole...
The fly,
we've had that discussion.
I said that one of those flies is going to have a tiny little Jeff Goldblum head on it.
Yep.
I know it.
Oh, okay. Let's see. What else you got there?
Maeve's begun getting aggressive with Felix now.
Yeah,
you notice? Honey, take me upstairs. Shut up. Do it right now. Yeah. So she's using more of a Sylvester technique on Felix because I don't know if Felix wasn't responding to her sugar. You know what I mean? He's getting the stick now.
And her more direct approach. Well, and I think that's because
attributes
of her
have changed
perception.
too.
Yeah, her attributes have changed.
I think where did I write that?
Loyalty changed.
More powerful than your God. You know, how are you willing to
Well, where
approach it?
she used to see them as gods, now they're monsters.
Yeah, and I mean, come on, she must have loved delivering that line. I've died 1,000,000 times.
Mm-hmm.
How many times have you died? So look, you're gonna do what I want, or I'm gonna kill you. And I mean, just on the dude's face, he's like, "Well, I've never died, so okay, I'm in."
So we have awareness, concepts of life, but not morality.
Yeah.
Mortality.
Yeah, really.
Oh no, you just have an understanding of how life works to the
Right.
degree that do it or die.
Yeah.
What will work,
Manipulative. Yeah.
which is part of her game, I guess. Shoot,
You got other stuff there? At
I
least
do.
up to this point chronologically, or no?
I only have one
more.
thing left, which was repetition leads to change.
Mm-hmm.
I think that was referring
Oh yeah,
to
them them evolving.
Right.
Oh, they
that was
How-
Bernard trying to explain. Yeah,
Does with the free thought come evolution?
Mm-hmm.
right.
Can machines evolve?
Think.
Mm-hmm.
Can they think? They're remembering. They're acting on previous inputs, but now are they
Yeah.
deciphering them differently to?
And see
Go
that
outside of
has to be the
programming.
path. That has to be the path that Arnold started them down. Was by doing all this repetition, they're then going to seek ways to do it better. Because that was what I tried to
Darwin type.
draw type of thing is
Darwinian.
as an athlete, you get repetitive at stuff. I mean, take a football player for instance. You're going to catch the ball with two hands until you're so good at it. You're going to be looking for new ways to do it, and you start catching it one-handed.
Right.
Oh,
But
like
these are not
teeth and.
computer systems, mechanical.
Mm-hmm.
My car does not get better at driving down the road the more miles I put on it.
That's true.
The more moving parts you have, the more tends to break.
Mm-hmm.
Age can talk to that.
The pendulum eventually stops. It doesn't keep going or getting better
Right.
just because it swings.
Yeah.
But yeah, so
There's outside influences and forces on that.
I'm super good at going left
It does
and
lead
then
to
going
change.
right. I gotta.
it does lead to change because the more you drive that car from point A to point B, you know, your transmission starts doing things, your brakes start wearing down.
Right.
It does lead to change.
Right, but the car doesn't get better at it.
The car does not
that's
get better
true.
at driving down the street.
Valid point, yes.
Well, you know,
No matter
it
how many
is
times
a
you
valid
turn
point.
left.
Yeah.
But it will.
It's too bad.
It will. I mean, take a woodcutter for instance. If he keeps working on the same tree, eventually
You won't have
it's
a tree.
going to lead to change. There won't be a tree,
Yeah, no more tree.
and then you just have a stump. So
And that's why he just started wandering through the countryside and bashed himself in the head with a
oh
rock.
yeah,
There's no,
I wasn't doing that very well, but yeah, that
Yeah.
works. So okay,
He ran out of that. All those carbons are from the same tree. Then that was the deal. All the carbons
Oh,
he had in his
maybe,
tent were
yeah.
one tree, and he just ran out of tree and was like,
it's like crap. I got nothing better to do.
They never programmed it. They forgot the bit of line where it said "find tree,"
they
and then
go-
it doesn't go to 10; it goes to 20. So it skips the bit where go to tree. He just went to tree. Wouldn't tree now. Broke.
Nice.
Okay.
Oh shoot. Okay, so yeah,
I
I
think
mean,
a lot of these theories way better than what they may be, but
probably. How many more notes do you have left? Because I am down to the nitty gritty.
dozens.
Do you really?
I don't know. Like I asked, why does Sylvester tell Maeve about her skeleton bombs? He's so set on sabotage her, like he doesn't want her to go, or he doesn't want her to succeed. He's like, we should have killed her, we should have destroyed her, shut her down. Insert thing here that's negative because Sylvester doesn't want her to win or go anywhere. But then he tells her that trying to escape the park is going to be suicide. Why wouldn't he be like, you know what? You should totally just run to the border and go. That way her skeleton bombs blow up and his problem is solved. He doesn't do that. He tells her about them.
And what would corporation do? Because it would fit perfectly into what they're already trying to show. They wouldn't go, no, you did that on purpose.
Yeah, they'd be like, sweet, another one tried to escape the park. exploded like that dude in the Running Man.
Mm-hmm.
You know, no, don't go near the fence. The red lights are on.
Yeah.
The train's this way.
Yeah. Like,
Here's a ticket.
yeah, just send her right.
Good point.
Oh, well.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, so you do find out that Bernard's a host. Because
Yes.
Bernard cannot see the door that Teresa's standing at.
That is my next.
So I was like, oh, that's a kudos there, you know, like from the graphic, like the design piece or whatever. Like, they show Teresa standing in a corner with no door. The camera pans away, pans back. Now there's a door.
Yeah.
It didn't look like a cheap, slidey, like, oh, they just slid the wall down and now there's a door in it or something, you know. It was like, oh, they maybe CGI'd it or something. It looked good.
That's
Right.
my note.
Aesthetically.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's there, and so you're like, oh, not Bernard. Like, not Bernard, man. I
Yeah.
like Bernard.
But exactly, my next note: Bernard couldn't see the door. Right after saying what?
Mm-hmm.
Right after saying,
What door?
well, no,
No, that
what
would've been
door?
before.
But he just explained
Mm-hmm. The host
they can
can't
only
see.
see what they've been programmed to see.
Yeah.
And then she's like, "Well, what's behind this door?" And yeah, I mean that moment when he says, "What door?"
Yeah, what door? And then you go, in the last episode, that's where Ford came from.
Right. Which is
Because
what we were
Ford just
scratching our
appeared
heads over.
on that wall.
Yeah.
So he just happened to be in his
He happened to be in
secret
his
work lair.
Yeah, and he came up. And man, for an old dude, he is ninja silent.
Oh,
No,
yeah.
I don't care that like Bernard can't see the door.
multiple
He
Fords.
doesn't hear Ford.
He's not programmed to.
Robots don't make noises, and Ford's a host.
There's multiple Fords.
Multiple Fords. Multiple Ford theory.
I can run with that.
Multiple worlds theory. Yeah, multiple Ford theory.
And then speaking about Ford, that's my next one. Unless you got something between it, the hosts are free under my control.
The hosts are free in this park. Under my control. You
So,
said
yeah,
something about
I mean-
free will?
Yeah, you said something about free agency, right? Or lack thereof.
What'd I say?
It's free.
Free will, freedom of choice.
Yeah, does that exist?
I mean,
They're programmed. So.
fatalist. I mean, are we doomed to our fate, or do we have free will choice?
Wow.
That whole thing. I mean, the wholesaler scene anyway, though.
Oh my gosh.
Hopkins.
Yes.
Whenever he leans over to Teresa, he was like blah blah blah, and then he leans in. I was waiting for.
My beans.
I was like, oh man, surely he's gonna.
That's got to be an outtake somewhere, though.
Oh man, I hope so. Man, if that's on the extras,
Oh
It's on the-
my
it's on the DVD
gosh.
outtake.
Yes. Please. Please, please, please.
the board will do nothing.
HBO, listen to us. Include that.
Which also Ford does say, the board won't do anything.
Right.
Fairly confidently,
Oh, more than confident.
as though maybe he
Well,
knows.
now they have us
You
questioning
already said it.
what all out there is a host.
Yeah.
How many other hosts could there be?
An infinite amount.
Right. Because they've got hosts all the way up to,
Bernard.
well, I'm saying up to greeting people on the train.
Yeah. Yeah.
So when you come
outside.
from the outside of the world, the train door is the only thing separating from that part to the outside world. You've already got hosts right there.
Yep. Yeah, and they may be on the,
We already know there's hosts working inside the mesa and everything else. So
which is interesting.
have they left the park and in the board in the larger corporation?
Don't know. I mean, at this
Ford's
point, yeah,
taking
it
over
could
the
be
world.
anything. Anything's fair game there. I like, and
They're just making us think too much and go crazy.
yeah,
My lazy mind is shutting down.
yeah. Well, and whenever
too hard.
Ford tells Bernard, help our guest. It's time to go to sleep or whatever.
Right.
And he goes, okay, and he takes
Oh, the preparation.
Bernard grabs Teresa and begins smashing her into the wall and making.
After he
Crunchy
takes off
noises.
his tie and neatly
Yeah,
lays it
I
down.
mean,
Yeah.
he took
That
off
was
his coat.
creepy.
Took
It
off
It doesn't
his
unbutton the
net,
top
yeah.
button on the shirt.
Yeah, I thought maybe he'd roll it up and it would look.
Roll the sleeves.
Yeah, roll the sleeves up a bit. But no, he
Yeah.
bashes Teresa a couple times, but that's done in the background of the
Right.
host being built. So then you question, was this Teresa? Is this new Teresa
Yeah.
being manufactured in
Right.
front of the old one dying?
Right.
Well, when he tells Bernard help her rest,
Mm-hmm.
does Bernard have a concept of mortality then? Oh, there's no such thing as death because you come back.
I don't know.
You go up into this other room and someone tablets, whatever.
They wash you down with a fire hose, apparently, in a glass room
Yes.
with a giant drain in the middle. And
Creepy Sylvester.
I figured
You know,
that was just the trigger
prod
word
you a
for
little
him to do the dirty work.
Yeah. They put some sort of a... I don't know. He had the big syringe with the eye cup on the end that he was putting over wounds. And I don't know what it was. Super glue or something. And he was putting gloops on Maeve's bullet wounds.
Mm-hmm.
And then they just... video game style, like GTA 5. Like
there's a blood.
Yeah, you go flying out of your car and cartwheel down the street, smash into a light pole, and a guy gets up and goes, just dusts off his chest and starts running again.
Blood.
Smash into the ground with your butt.
Yep. Oh. So yeah, now we've reached my last note,
All right, well,
which is about Teresa.
Oh, you're gonna cover it.
It would suck to die in Disneyland.
What? Teresa?
Yeah, because she was there as a
Somebody
child.
said that? Oh, I got you.
You know,
It was her
I think
Disneyland.
back to my fond memories of going to Disneyland. It's a theme park, and that would suck to die
Mickey Mouse taking you out.
in a place that you had fond memories.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Everything about that sequence, from finding out Bernard's a host to Teresa biting it and then becoming Robot Teresa, very tragic.
Probably so.
Very sad.
Mm-hmm. I think the cinematographer gave it away on that one.
Indeed. Maybe.
The director was like, you know what,
Maybe.
finish up the scene, I'm out. And the cinematographer's like, you know, it'd be cool if we moved it over the host, and then,
yeah.
because he's read the next script.
Shoot. Yeah, no. But yeah. Okay, so summation, yeah. What do you got?
Me?
Yeah.
I don't know. Don't start with me.
Don't start with you?
No.
Oh, start with the guest?
Yeah, sure.
We're so lazy. Go ahead, Josh.
I didn't think
So
of
when they
anything.
went back to the cottage looking for the family, the
Okay.
family wasn't there, yet they're programmed not to leave that area.
Oh, I gotcha. Okay. Yeah, the
So are
family's
these
gone.
anomalies going out for,
Anomalous activities?
yes, other anomalistic activities?
You think they're being programmed to dink with other host programming?
They're Arnold?
Because they can't be picked up or tracked.
Well,
With anything else. They're not done. Well, they're
Yeah.
not tracked and followed the same way.
No, they're not.
No, they're not.
Yeah.
Yeah, they just show up as GPS location anomalies on the GPS system.
Right.
Old school.
Mhm.
And
But what if your fifth host was Elsie?
so they may see them as
Elsie's not dead. Don't worry.
I know, because she's a host. She's over there with the Force family.
Yeah, she's not dead.
she lives in the attic of the cottage.
The cottage.
This
Yes.
is the Anne Frank of the...
She's sleeping right now.
So maybe the hosts see them as
Maybe.
guests.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they're manipulating.
Maybe so. Yeah, so there's... Yeah, where did that family go?
And Elsie better not be dead. That's all I have to say. Yeah, I don't know. I had the same thought, but for some reason it was glossed over very quickly because what door happened, and I'm like, oh, like I didn't care about the family anymore.
Yeah, I didn't even notice... initially, I didn't even notice the family being gone.
Well, obviously Ford's got his own little private army there.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, he's building up. I can't imagine. I mean, he's got every other command in there. He can just wave his hand and be like, 2 arms, and the entire park jumps up.
Going on all fours.
Rise.
Yes, rise out.
Creepy.
He hides them all in that graveyard that just is randomly in the middle of everything.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Maybe
good.
that's why we
Yeah,
keep
coming
seeing
out.
it.
Yeah,
Oh.
good. Yeah, there was some movie where they buried a bunch of guns in graves, didn't they?
Mm-hmm.
Or they had.
Yeah, that's been done a time or two.
No, that was Terminator 2 or 3.
It's
That was
been done
Terminator
more
3,
than once,
where they went
man.
to the grave of John Connor or Sarah Connor, whatever it was, and
Oh, the
busted it open, and it was full of
mausoleum,
miniguns and rocket launchers.
Pew, 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 pew. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
It's been done.
I
All right,
digress.
cool. So
All right, so that wraps it up then?
I think that wraps it up.
Okay.
I'd like to thank Josh again for sitting in on this one with us. It was one of the better ones. And Dave and I are just, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't either.